U.S. National Security Advisor makes unannounced visit to Kyiv on Friday. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan made an unannounced visit Friday to Kyiv, where he met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other top officials. Sullivan underscored U.S. support for Ukrainians as they defend their sovereignty and territorial integrity, said Adrienne Watson, a spokesperson for the National Security Council, in a statement. In Kyiv, Sullivan announced an additional $400 million security assistance package to Ukraine. It includes refurbished T-72 tanks and drones, along with refurbished surface-to-air missiles. He also affirmed the U.S. will continue to provide economic and humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. The United States is going to be with Ukraine for as long as it takes in this fight. There will be no wavering, no flagging, no flinching in our support as we go forward. Sullivan added that the war could easily end if Russia chose to stop fighting and ceased its occupation. And that's precisely what it should do from our perspective, he told reporters. Luhansk regional military head describes devastation in the eastern region. A Ukrainian military official surveyed the devastation in de-occupied parts of the eastern Luhansk region, leaving him with rather mixed feelings, he said Friday. Serhiy Haidai, head of the Luhansk region military administration, described the pain of seeing what the Russians left behind. He found destroyed villages, cattle that are ill or dead, and empty houses, according to a Telegram post about his visit. Haidai said his party found 5 to 6 people who remained there up to the last and helped take them out of the settlement. He recommended civilians stay away due to shelling and mines in the area. Fierce fighting in the region. There are constant battles in Luhansk's Svatov Kremina area, north of Russian-occupied Severodonetsk, according to Haidai. He said the Russians are increasing their manpower in the area. Every time during the attack, the Russians send their soldiers numbering up to a platoon for reconnaissance, in which they cannot survive. They die, and the next ones go forward. Every new attack is accompanied by the fact that the Russians are trampling their dead. Of course, no one takes the bodies out. There is no such thing as value of human life for them, Haidai said Friday. Iran acknowledges providing drones to Russia before Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. The Iranian government acknowledged for the first time Saturday that it had sent a limited number of drones to Russia in the months before the start of its invasion of Ukraine. The statement by Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amirabdollahian comes after previous denials by Tehran that it had supplied Russia with weapons for use in Ukraine, saying it has not and will not do so. Amirabdollahian did not say if the drones that were supplied to Moscow were the type that carry explosives. Some Western countries have accused Iran of helping the war in Ukraine by providing drones and missiles to Russia. The part regarding missiles is completely wrong. The part about drones is correct. We did provide a limited number of drones to Russia in the months before the start of the war in Ukraine, Amirabdollahian told reporters in Tehran. Some context: self-detonating drones have played a significant role in the conflict since Russia launched its invasion in late February. They are capable of circling for some time in an area identified as a potential target and striking only once an enemy asset is identified. Russia has launched a series of drone attacks across Ukraine in recent weeks, striking vital civilian infrastructure, and sowing terror in Ukrainian cities far from the front lines of the war. Ukrainian officials said last week that they had shot down more than 300 Iranian drones. Western ally describes a more expansive program. Officials from a Western country that closely monitors Iran's weapons program told CNN that Iran is preparing to send more attack drones, along with surface-to-surface short-range ballistic missiles, to Russia to use in its war against Ukraine. The last shipment of weapons from Iran to Russia included about 450 drones, officials said, which the Russians have already used to deadly effect in Ukraine. Putin signs law to mobilize Russian citizens convicted of serious crimes. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a law Friday that allows for conscripting citizens with unexpunged or outstanding convictions for various serious crimes. Russians convicted of murder, robbery, larceny, drug trafficking and other grave offenses under the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation can be called up for military service, according to the law. That makes it possible to mobilize hundreds of thousands of people who have been sentenced to probation or have recently been released from colonies, who were previously forbidden to serve. The only group of criminals exempted from the decree are those who committed sex crimes against minors, treason, spying or terrorism. Also excluded are those convicted of the attempted assassination of a government official, hijacking an aircraft, extremist activity and illegal handling of nuclear materials and radioactive substances. The Kremlin has already mobilized an additional 18,000 soldiers above its goal of 300,000 to fight in its war in Ukraine from the general male population of Russia, Putin said Friday.